At the end of the day, what you want when you think about the future, even in a negative way, is come back to action. Action is what makes you feel empowered because you feel, wait, I have a say in this. I'm not the victim of the future, I can shape it. My name is Florence Gaub. I am a French-German national. I work as the research director at the NATO Defense College in Rome. It's a little bit like a NATO university, but for colonel level. That's the last rank before they become generals. So they come here for 6 months normally and do a course that gives them a strategic hot wash, so to say, before they start moving on in the next level of their careers. The research division at the NATO Defense College works on future problems that are related to NATO, obviously. We work on things that are between 2 to 5 years from now. So at the moment we're looking at things like future of war. We're looking, of course, at Russia. We're also looking at the Middle East and North Africa, and basically anything else that could be relevant, like climate change, how it changes the landscape, the geostrategic landscape, things like that. When we think about the future, we don't try to predict the future as in the one thing that's actually going to happen, but we scope the landscape. We're a bit like a reconnaissance team. We try to think about all the things that are possible and then narrow down those that are relevant to us. And then we use all kinds of methods. We use scenarios very much. Scenarios are essentially, you use empathy, you use imagination. Of course, you also use data to think through what could that future mean for us. And then you think about how could we avoid it and how could we prepare for it. So scenarios, but also trend analysis, and then counterfactual thinking, which means that you test the way you think about the future. So we are challenging ourselves all the time. If everybody else is thinking about a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, my team will start thinking about what if the Northern Sea route opens? What could that mean for relations with Russia and China, also in military terms? When everybody else is thinking about Gaza, then we are thinking about how could actually the change in the energy production, how could that change relations with the Middle East and North Africa? And that also means that we're not necessarily where the music plays. Okay? We are the recce team, so we are the first ones to go somewhere, but it also means that we work on things that might not be the #1 topic in the newspapers. Diversity is always good. The more diverse a group is, the more accurate they will be in taking the flashlight and going into the dark spots of the future, because with diversity come different viewpoints, and with different viewpoints you get a much bigger picture. We know that groups with a higher female share tend to listen more to the other. And nothing is more important when you talk about the future than collaboration and changing your viewpoint. So it's not about winning a debate, it's about listening to the other and then adjusting my own viewpoint. So it is extremely important, and I'm very happy to say that in my team we achieve that. There is nothing that can replace academic exchange across different cultures. Firstly, to encounter a different kind of thinking will stimulate your own kind of thinking. My first degree was at the university in Munich, and that was great, I learned a great deal, but it was in France that I learned how to structure certain texts. So the two together really informed how I am as a researcher. So I think diversity in thinking is hugely important because it opens your eyes, it opens your mind. And then of course you encounter people from other cultures, because when you go to another university, it's not like you're just being parachuted into one culture, you also meet exchange students from other cultures. So it's by definition always superlative in diversity. And that makes you realize that my worldview is relative. There is no absolute truth, there is no absolute one way of seeing the world. This is how it is. No. So understanding that everything that you've learned is a tool, that is, I think, the most important lesson I had from my experience with the DAAD. When the human brain is in awe, that is one of the moments when stress and relaxation are in balance. So you're simultaneously overwhelmed, but you feel very good at it. And awe happens, I'm sure it's happened to you when normally we get it when we see nature, but it also happens when we go and encounter another country, another culture, a new way of looking at things, and you're like, oh wow, I had no idea. So I think you would miss an essence of being a human being. I mean, just not encountering all of that, that would be a huge loss.